This is the Louie Tee Network.
Who else could it be but me, Dorman, Louie Tee? Welcome to Lockdown Coverage. Your man Louie Tee covering the entire National Football League like a blanket. Week 3, Packers at home at Lambeau for the first time this season, taking on a little bit of family business in the Detroit Lions, coming off a tough loss at the crib to the Tennessee Titans. Lions almost should have swept the Packers last year. Went into Lambeau and won for the first time since 1991. Could they do it again? We'll talk about that in a second. First and foremost, welcome to the channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. Mi casa, su casa. Come on in, have a seat, sit down, man, get comfortable. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. For those of you who are regulars of the program, what up, man? Also on Twitter, at In the Lab Room is the Twitter handle. Go ahead and follow me on Twitter. If you happen to be watching via the YouTube live feed, leave a hashtag Louie Tee Live to have your comment read at the end of this breakdown. Also, if you're on Twitter and you happen to be watching, hey, leave the hashtag Louie Tee Live there and tweet me and have your comment read from there as well. So follow me on Twitter. Also, thumbs up on Facebook. In the Lab Room is the Facebook page. You see all the social media sites that I have and platforms scrolling across the screen. Be sure to get locked in to all of my different social media platforms, including the most important one of all, YouTube, Louie Tee Network. So let's jump into the likes, dislikes, and the banana in the tailpipe for this ball game. Packers, Lions. And this is a little bit of NFC North family business. And you know how we do it here. If these two teams say they ain't did it, then they ain't did it. But if they did, well, that's family business. So let's get right to that family business, NFC North style. Start with the likes from the road team, that being the Detroit Lions. Let's jump into their first half likes. The opening drive. Response to the Packers. Packers go right down the field, open in possession, get a touchdown, clean, easy. What do you do if you're the Lions? You'd love to respond with some points. Hell, field goal, touchdown be great. Touchdown for touchdown. But get something. Don't allow the Packers to go down and get a touchdown, and then you give them right back to football because Aaron Rodgers will get surgical on you, and next thing you know, you'll look up and you'll be down 21-0. They went down and got a field goal. Good for the Lions. I thought it was an impressive opening drive. Nice mixture of running pass, Easy E getting in on the action. Golden Tate, where's he been? He got in on the action. Thought it was a good response to the Packers' touchdown. It would have been nice for them to get in the end zone, but they had to settle for a field goal, but they still got on the scoreboard. Marvin Jones Jr. What in the hell? This man is going bonkers as a number one wide receiver, and generally it happens the other way. A guy tries to spread his wings and fly away from the nest as a number 2 receiver and go and be a number 1. And normally he finds out, man, it's tough out on those streets as a number 1, man. That's tough sledding. That's a tough way to make a living. He is flourishing in that role as number 1 receiver out in Detroit, getting out of the shadows of it's A.J. Green out in Cincinnati. And man, do the Bengals miss Marvin Jones or what? This guy was magnificent in this game and has been for the Lions all season long. 205 yards, 2 touches on 6 catches. Do you understand how many yards per catch that is? Okay. This guy was out of bounds in this game and seemed like he was open the entire day. Marvin Jones carving up this Packers secondary. Demarius Randall. It didn't matter who was on him. Gunter. It did not matter who was checking this man on this day. He was making a mockery of that Packers secondary. Marvin Jones Jr. continues to be Matthew Stafford's go-to guy and a guy that's a big play weapon for this offense. He was tremendous in this game. Keep in mind, Matthew Stafford with 385 yards passing, 205 of those went to Marvin Jones. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? My goodness, that was a hell of a game for Marvin Jones. Golden Tate getting involved. First half, he's been absent, and it was a little bit of a disappearing act, and I didn't know what was going on. I asked a couple of Lions fans, and I got a great response from one of them. I want to say it was my man Brian. It might have been my man Brian, but somebody gave me a hell of a response and basically explained to me what was going on, and it sounds about right. But they need to get him involved. I don't give a damn what's going on behind the scenes. They need to get him the football. And they did make a concerted effort, and I complained about it last game. Asking, I shall receive. I got it this game. Threw him a bubble screen, a little hitch. Tried to get him going that way. They tried to give him the football on a little bit of a reverse. That got blown up. They threw him a couple slants. Got him out. So they got him the football in this game, and that's what I wanted to see. Get Golden Tate involved. I'd love to see him get in the end zone. Make him feel more part of this offense so that he can start making some plays, because he's a huge contributor. And as he goes, so goes this offense. Again, they're going to be more explosive right now they don't really need him. Marvin Jones is providing all the fireworks. But if you want this offense to be dynamic, score 30-something points, every ball game, you need to include Golden Tate for that to happen. Packers first half likes offensive start. What in the hell? And see, this is what I was telling people. Do you understand that I was fielding questions last Sunday night on Sunday Night Football overtime? Do you understand that I was fielding questions from fans asking me, is Aaron Rodgers on the downturn of his career? Is Aaron Rodgers good? He's about to start being garbage. What? Are you serious? And should we be worried about Aaron Rodgers? I got that from a couple people. And my response was, no. They'll be fine. Wait till Jordy Nelson and him get in sync. Once that happens, it's going to free up. And go watch that telecast, Sunday Night Football. Last week when they played the Vikings. Yeah, he struggled in that game. I said, look and watch. When him and Jordan get on the same page, watch what the Packers do offensively. Because when Jordy Nelson is right and him and Aaron Rodgers are on the same page, it puts everybody in their proper slots. All of a sudden now, Randall Cobb and Devontae Adams are allowed to be slot guys, allowed to be second and third options respectively. They don't have to go out and try to beat number one corners. They don't have to go out and try to be the guy. They can just be a guy, and that's what they are supposed to be. And so that's what you saw in this game. Everybody got to fit into their proper slots, and then all of a sudden, the run game is now working because Aaron Rodgers can throw it now. You got to respect that. Now the run game opens up. It's not rocket science, folks. You get Jordy Nelson involved. You get your number one receiver back in the mix, making plays. Now the defense has to respect that. Now everybody else gets a little bit of opportunities to make plays. Now the run game opens up. 5 possessions, 5 scores to start this game. They did not punt until their 8th possession. Don't count the one before halftime. They didn't punt there. The half just ran out. Don't count the one after halftime because they scored a field goal on that. So if you want to be technical, 6 scores in their first 7 possessions in this game for 34 points. And that was all they needed to win. Dynamic start to this game for the Packers offensively. Jordy Nelson was extremely huge. And that's what they need from him moving forward. They need Air Jordy back. And he was back in a big way in this game. 6 catches, over a buck, 2 touches. That's what they need from Jordy Nelson. They need him to be that guy again. Big play, stretching the defense, yards after catch. They need all of that from Jordy Nelson. And he's on his way back to being that guy. Devontae Adams with some big catches, including a touchdown grab, the first score of the game for the Packers. Again, Nelson's emergence is going to free up those other guys around him. Ty Montgomery. What a smart play. After the Lions got a field goal on their first possession of the game, He steps out of, and see, this is my pet peeve with a lot of players. They don't know the rules of the game. Well, Ty Montgomery does. And this, I don't know if he knew this on his own or if his special teams coach taught him this, but it's just great knowledge of the game. So the ball is kicked, and he runs immediately where he's standing. The ball is close to the sidelines. So he runs out of bounds, and the ball trickles back into the field of play. So what he does is he then falls down on the ground, makes sure that his foot is still touching out of bounds, and he makes contact with the football, then making the ball out of bounds, giving the Packers the football at the 40-yard line. Pure genius. Brilliance on his part. And that's a rule that a lot of people don't understand. If you're out of bounds when you contact the football on a kickoff, that means the ball is then out of bounds, which means it's an illegal kickoff out of bounds. You get the football at the 40-yard lines. Brilliant play by Ty Montgomery. A lot of people don't know the rules to the game. He obviously did and used it to him and his team's benefit. And I like the way they were using him in the backfield. Ty Montgomery actually got a carry. They were looking to throw him the football out of the backfield, kind of using him in that Randall Cobb mode where you use one of your receivers as a running back and feature them and give them the football and toss it to him out of the backfield. And I like that with Ty Montgomery. He reminds me a lot of Pierre Garçon in the way that he runs after he catches the football. And he wears the same number. It kind of reminds me a lot of Pierre Garçon. Damarius Randall's takeaway. I mean, he literally, and that was literally what it was, a takeaway. Give me that. You don't know what to do with that, shorty. Let me get that, man. Come on. Come up off that. Give me those cookies. Took the football right away from Eric Ebron. Give me that, man. Snatches. Mine. And ran the other way with it. It's crazy. Let's get to the dislikes in the first half of both teams. Kickoff out of bounds after the field goal for the Lions. You get a field goal. You feel good about your drive, even though you didn't finish it with a touchdown. Cut the lead to 7-3. All right, let's see if you can't play some defense now and get the Packers off the field and get the football back to your offense who just went down and got a field goal. Instead, kickoff out of bounds. Packers get the ball at the 40-yard line. They're razor sharp. They're red hot. They just move it right down the field, get back in the end zone again. Can't make that kind of mistake. Nevin Lawson with a huge pass interference penalty, putting the football at the 2-yard line. Really, bruh? Like a 50-some-odd yard penalty, put the ball at the 2-yard, and you know the Packers are getting in after that. Ease takeaway, and I talked about that. He let Damarius Randall take the football. You got to be stronger with the ball than that, man. Can't let a corner come up and snatch the football from you, man. He said, you've been eating long enough now. Stop being greedy. Let's keep it real, partner. Give it to the needy. Ribs is touching. So don't make me wait. Mess around and I'm going to bite you. Snatch the plate. Give me the ball. Took the ball right from him. Missed 42-yarder by Matt Prater. He is so inconsistent. You know, Matt is good for about a miss a game, it seems like. But it's much better than what it was before he got there, and that's why the Lions aren't going to cut him loose. They don't have the ability to just go out on the street and pluck a kicker. They've had so many issues with the kicking position that they're just going to be content with Matt Prater and deal with his misses because Matt's good for 3 out of 4. Matt's good for 4 out of 5, but there's going to be a miss in there somewhere. It's much better than kickers going 1 of 4 and 2 of 5 like they were last year. So they're just gonna hang with Matt Prater. But he's got to start being more consistent, man. I remember Matt didn't used to miss at all in Denver. Now he's good for a miss a game. And of course the defense was a dislike. You can't give up 31 in the first half, 5 of 5 on scoring possessions, and give up 34 in the game and expect not to be on the dislikes list. Unreal. This defense in 2 of the 3 games has been putrid. And the only reason it's not 3 for 3 is because you played the Titans last game and they haven't scored more than 16 points all season long. So my takeaway from this defense is that it's a bad defense. They give it up week after week after week. They gave it up in week 1 to the Colts. They gave it up again to the Packers. If you have an offense that is explosive, that can score, you can score on this Detroit Lions defense. That's been proven. Let's go to the dislikes for the first half of the Packers. The dropped interceptions were a problem for me because this game could have been a lot worse had they picked off some passes and gave the Packers offense even shorter fields. Dropped interception by Micah Hyde. Dropped interception by Gunter. Those were issues for me. Catch the football. Make plays. Put the Lions out of their misery early in this game. Go ahead, kill them. They want to give you opportunities, take them. Run with them. Jared Cook got injured in this game. That's the story of his career. Either he's fumbling the football or he's getting injured. And you thought new life in Green Bay. He's got a quarterback that can actually get him the football. He's got a shot to blow up. He's injured. Hopefully it's not serious, but he's injured. Let's go to the lights for the second half now. Opening possession of the second half. Much like the first half and the opening possession for the Lions, thought this opening possession of the second half was successful for the Lions. Again, they went all the way down the field, got it as close as the 2-yard line, and then the Packers defense stood up strong, and they said, okay, we're down big, man. We're down 31-3, or 10, excuse me, at that point. No reason to kick a field goal here. I mean, we're down by 3 scores. And we need touchdowns, not field goals. So they went for it on 4th and goal, and they got it with a beautiful play to Anquan Bolden. And so they were able to convert, get a touchdown, and you start feeling good about yourself. You start gaining a little confidence. And all of a sudden, now you're back in the ball game at 31-17. Thought Easy E was phenomenal in this game. Seemed like he was catching the football all day long, much like Marvin Jones Jr. He was all over the field making plays for this Lions offense. Thought this was one of his better performances as a pro. Even though he didn't get in the end zone in this game, I thought he helped them move the football up and down the field on this Packers defense. And give the defense some credit. They were terrible in the second half, or first half. They were much better in the second half. I think it had a lot more to do with the Packers simply taking their foot off the gas pedal than anything else. But still, to only surrender 3 points in the second half after giving up 31 in the first half, give some credit where credit is due to that Lions defense for not imploding and giving up 50 in this game. Packers lights for the second half. Eddie Lacy goes over 100 yards, ran tough all day long, and when they needed him in that 4-minute offense, he was huge. Thought he did a lot of his damage in the first half, did some more damage in the second half. Eddie Lacy was strong in this game from start to finish. Kyler Fackrell, you get your rookie out there out of Utah State, and he gets a sack. That's great. No Clay Matthews in this game. I thought Nick Perry actually showed out this game and played well. Good to see another guy stepping up in Kyler Fackrell. The Packers don't get enough pressure for me. And if this guy can come on and get you a little bit of pressure, and then Clay Matthews can start getting some pressure again, and maybe Nick Perry will actually step up and get you some pressure, all of a sudden now it'll come together, because you hate to keep relying on guys like J. Pep, who are 87 years old, to get pressure on the quarterback. It was good to see a guy like Kyler Fackrell step on the field and have a presence and make an impact. 4-minute offense. This was huge in this game because the Lions had all the momentum late in this ball game. The Packers had done nothing in the second half offensively. They get the football back. They get into their 4-minute offense. They run it on first down. They run it on second down. The crowd starts booing on third down. And on 3rd and 8, they let Aaron Rodgers out the back door. He picks up, 12 yards, slides down, picks up the first down. Then Eddie Lacy starts to run the football tough and hard. And they end up picking up another first down after getting a nice slant to Devontae Adams. Eddie Lacy rumbles for the final first down of the game that allows them to run out the clock. Great 4-minute offense by this Packers team to put this game away and not allow the Lions to get the football back with a chance to tie. Remember, the last time these teams were up in Lambeau, the Lions had some late game theatrics, came back and stole that ball game. They didn't allow them to do that this time by putting the game away with their 4-minute offense. Dislikes in the second half. We go back to the road team in the Lions. Andre Roberts in the returns game. Look, man, you're in the end zone. You're not going to get back to the 20. Take a knee. How many times are you going to run it out and not get back to the 20? The touchback rule now is to the 25. So if you're not getting to the 25, what are you doing? Okay, once, okay, shame on you. Twice, okay, shame on me. 3 and 4 times? That's insanity. Stop bringing the ball out. Take a knee. You're putting your team in a tough situation by having to start inside their own 20. Stop bringing the ball out. That was my only dislike. Thought the defense held up. The only other thing I didn't like was the defense not being able to get a stop late in the ball game. Your offense just scored a touchdown again. Gave you a chance to get a stop and get the football back and give them one more opportunity to tie this game. and you couldn't do it. You let the Packers pick it up on 3rd and 8. You let the Packers run and run the clock out. Second half dislikes for the Packers. Joe Thomas drops an interception. That's the 3rd interception dropped by a Packers defensive player in this game. There were a lot of opportunities for plays to be made, and they didn't make them in this game. Trevor Davis, he dropped the football on a nice comeback route. Look, if you want snaps, young fella, catch the football. You want to be more than a special teams guy? Catch the football. They're giving you an opportunity to make a play. You got some speed. They want you to be in the game. But if you're not going to catch the football, they won't put you in the game. Catch the football, young fella. Green Bay offense took their foot off the gas pedal is my final dislike. I could also say that the defense, which had breakdowns all day long, was on my dislikes list as well. Let's start with the offense, and then we'll get to the defense. The offense put it on cruise control. When you score 31 in the first half, it's easy to just say, all right, that's enough. We did enough. We won. Defense, take care of this. And essentially that's what I felt like the Packers offensively did in this game. They scored 31 in the first half, and they put it in the defense's hands to finish off the rest of the game. And to me, you have to find a way to continue to keep your foot on the gas pedal. Score 45. Don't allow the Lions to make this a one-score game late. What if the offense wasn't able to rev it back up and pick up a couple of first downs and keep the football away from the Lions? The way they were moving the football, they would have tied this game up. And once they tied the game up, you lose if you're the Packers. You don't win this game after having a 31-3 lead. You don't come back and all of a sudden turn the offense back on and win. You lose this game. Put them away. Don't turn the offense off. Put 45 on these boys. Put 50 on them. Smash them. It's a family member. Embarrass them. Didn't do that. Defense. Too many wide open receivers in this game. It seemed like Marvin Jones Jr. was open the entire game. It seemed like Eazy-E was open the entire game. Too many guys running wide open in your secondary, and I know you had players out. I don't care. Stop letting guys run unmolested through your secondary. It was a joke in the second half. That touchdown right before halftime, that was a joke. Stop letting guys make big plays. You almost gave up this lead. Unreal. But I don't have any banana in tailpipes for either one of these teams because the Lions are who they are, and they showed it in this game. They don't play any defense for the most part, and offensively, they can score. It's who they are. I said they're going to be a 7-9 team when it's all said and done. As far as the Packers are concerned, they can score points, and they did in this game. They just need to be consistent. And if Jordy Nelson continues to play the way he did in this game, I expect the Packers to return to form and start scoring points. Can the defense match the intensity of the offense and keep teams from making it a shootout? That's the question we'll have for this Packers team moving forward. But I see a comment. Yep. And Mind Raz says, don't forget Kerry Hyder got another sack in this game. Consistency. He sure did. Got a sack right at the end of the first half. I said, my man Kerry Hyder Jr. with his 4th sack of the season. This guy's playing out of his brains. Could he get some help? I know no Ziggy Ansah. Can he get some help? That's the question. Because he can't do it by himself. He needs some help. If he can get some help on that defensive line, maybe they can stop teams from putting up 30 on him. But until then, it's going to be a problem that consistently happens with this Lions football team because they cannot get stops consistently enough and stop teams. It'd be one thing if they were stopping teams once they got in the red zone and forcing them to kick field goals. Teams are scoring touchdowns on this Lions defense. So that's going to do it for me. Since I have no more comments. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here in the lab room. Come back and join me as I continue to break down anything and everything in the National Football League. I thank you for joining me here on Lockdown Coverage. Got many more games to break down. I'm about to sink my teeth into that Panthers-Vikings game. That one's got to be a doozy. Two good football teams squaring off early in the season. Can't wait to watch that one and break it down. So I will see you with the breakdown of that game a little bit later on in the afternoon. Remember, we're changing the game one live feed at a time. I will see you a little bit later on. Have a good one.